Hello all, welcome back to another Mud Stomp speedrun attempt session. This is run number 11. I've, as you can see, supplied up quite well, but I've been stuck in a forest, so I'm now pillaring up to see where we can go. This has kind of been getting to this kind of situation where I'm thinking more and more about how much time I'm wasting looking for things in these speedruns. And as you can see in this run, I basically end up with next to nothing to find. And it turns out in run number 12, it's the same deal. So that being said, we're going to move on to run number 13. Alright, run 13, we are catching up as I've dove into the water to go into a sunken ship and get some supplies. I've been pushing really hard on this run to just get into things and find things. It's not exactly the most comforting run, unfortunately. As you can see, I'm starting to drown here, and in the end of it, I drowned. So I gave up on this one too as a no-goer and moved on to run number 14. Alrighty everybody, so run number 14 started off quite nicely. I started in a savannah. I found this cave system very quickly after getting some food together and so forth, and spent a few minutes getting some iron and whatnot together. I will say I'm still doing things much too slowly for my liking, but to be honest, it's still sort of trying to get the speedrun strats down pat in my head and figure out things I'm doing wrong. The Nether portal is still something I'm really not doing very well at all on. So yeah, you can see here I'm really trying to figure out where to put all the blocks and so forth, and yeah, it's still a bit of a battle, unfortunately, but I think I've got it finally figured out after this or the next attempt, so yeah, we'll see in future runs to come. But anyway, this particular run is rather interesting. I think it's not too bad. I get in the Nether in about 10 minutes of the start of the run, so from that perspective, that particular aspect is, I think that's a reasonable time considering my lack of capability at the moment and all. So yeah, I'm getting there in that sense. So anyway, this is dropping into the Nether now in a second, after I dump my water bucket and collect some lava again. So I want to make sure I've got a lava so I can kill hoglins more easily. Not that I tend to do that too often yet. I think I'm still lagging behind on that thought process. But anyway, so like I said, 10 minutes I'm into the Nether. Now in the Nether it was kind of a bit of a pain in the butt. The biggest problem was I was in a warped forest for ages, so I spent about 18 minutes I think it was before I finally got to this fortress. Now this is my first encounter with blazes. I got right into the fray and decided to try and really sort of sort myself out quickly in the hope that I could get some speed going here. I will say I'm still not very good with these blazes, unfortunately. I've got to start figuring out my dodging a little bit more so, and unfortunately I died initially with it. Now that being said, I didn't let the death get me down. I got back in there as quick as I could and picked up as much of my stuff as I could. The big problem here was I couldn't find any of my food. So as we're going to see in a moment, I get down really low on health and I've basically got no options. I probably should have just quit it right here and there, but for whatever reason I decided to continue to go. I think my thinking was if I could manage to figure out these blazes, maybe I could pick up some food somewhere along the way and then sort it out from there. I don't know, it's probably just really silly thinking, to be honest, but this is probably getting the closest I've gotten to getting actual blaze powders and so forth. So yeah, I'm pretty, again, this is me sort of attempting to really see things through and get the runs finished at the moment. So yeah, it's sort of I guess I want to get towards an end of a run to practice the end part of the run, not just the start. So yeah, it's still early days, but that's what we're working on. So anyway, that's that run done, so we'll move on to run number 15. Okay, so into run 15, I have gone past a number of structures and collected a bunch of resources, and my main issue here was it was taking forever, but again I wanted to finish it, so I found a number of single lava sources to fill in this portal under the water, and finally managed to light the portal and get into the Nether. So this was incredibly long, it was just ridiculous. I should have given up, but I was persistent. So anyway, I get into the Nether and basically I'm looking at running around, I'm wandering for ages, probably sort of 15 minutes or more. It's quite ridiculous when you consider it. But the thing was, I was tired of not getting very far, and I really wanted, every time I got to the Nether and had a decent sort of spawn in the Nether, I wanted to give it a go and try and get somewhere. So yeah, here I am. There's a warped forest. I pleb around for a little bit, and then I basically decide that from here on out, I'm going to just try and kill Endermen in the warped forest if I find them. I figure, 5 minutes of farming in a warped forest, and I've probably got all my ender pearls anyway, and then all I need to do is find some blaze. So it's a hard debate, to be honest. I think in a normal setting it would work, but in this it was killing me. Anyway, after doing all of that, I carried on, got into this this forest here. I can't think what the word is, Crimson Forest, and got accosted by these hoglins, but at the same time found a Bastion. So this was the point where I'm like, great, first run where I finally got a Bastion and I can try some Bastion strats. Looking at the Bastion, initially I wasn't 100% certain which one it was, but once I get in there, I started to look for, I forget which one it's called, but I think it's the treasure room one or something, and you've got the gaps in the side of the ramparts and whatnot, and you're looking for the good gaps, and I can't remember exactly, I don't think I could find them, they might have been covered up or something, but anyway, I did eventually follow that strategy. So as we'll see in a moment, I'm going to run into the Bastion. And basically, yeah, this is literally my first run at a Bastion. I've never, ever gone into a Bastion before. I've watched a few videos on YouTube, and I have no idea what I'm really doing. I'm trying to remember where the gold is in this particular one. Again, I make the assumption that I'm in, I think it's called the treasure one, I can't remember, but the one where basically there's the face blocks down the bottom, and you have, I think it's 9 gold blocks guaranteed there, and therefore you can dig your way in, make yourself safe, dig out those blocks, start trading, and then head upstairs to the chests. Now the interesting thing is, I probably spend about 7 minutes in this Bastion with this. Now I think that's pretty good considering I've never set foot in one, and a speed run of this, someone would probably do it in maybe about 2 to 3 minutes depending, given the sort of the direction I've come in from and so on and so forth. But for me, yeah, I think 7 minutes wasn't the worst case scenario. What I do find interesting is that the initial trading that I set up with all the gold blocks, I didn't actually go back to collect from. In the end, I got everything I needed from upstairs because I did some trading on the top level as well, next to the chest, because I was getting into the chest, so I threw down gold to try and get in the chest safely, and then I'm trading by throwing gold, so I got everything I needed then too. So yeah, honestly speaking, like for me, as someone who's completely new to speedrunning Minecraft, I think this just seems incredible that you would be so quick in being able to get this, and I can completely understand where an actual speedrunner would be getting through a Bastion like this in 1 or 2 minutes. So yeah, this is I find it really interesting, so it was cool. The big thing that held me up initially probably was the fact that my iron pickaxe broke in a few moments, and so I had to craft a new one and stuff. So yeah, that was kind of like a bit of a frustration in a sense. But like, what are you going to do? I think the other thing is, I don't remember, I'm just watching the video here as I'm doing this. Yeah, I used the gold pickaxe and lost 3 blocks of gold in the process, so that was even worse. So, because if I had had that initially, it probably would have cut me down another 30 seconds to a minute when I was doing other things and whatnot. But anyway, so I managed to get myself sorted in that way in a moment. I'm just trying to think through what else is to be said here. So, largely speaking, like this 9 gold and so forth, so I remembered the strategy pretty well is my thinking. I've noticed that there's the gold here. I've figured out where I've got to hold the piglins in. Obviously, the big thing is to try and figure out how to do this better in the future. The big one being that I don't know exactly where to place each block or whatever, and that kind of thing. But yeah, it's, again, I think for 7 minutes for a beginner who's never set foot into a Bastion before, I think this was probably one of the most amazing. Well, no, I'm not going to call it an amazing run. I'm going to say it was, I think I did pretty well, all in all. So anyway, I'm getting into this, getting myself sorted. The 30-second timer on the Hoglins has probably gone out and come again, so that sort of demonstrates how long this has been taking me. But at this point, I've got enough of them, you can hear them going off, and I'm thinking this is fine. As long as I can block myself in appropriately, I should be able to sort of sort this out and whatnot. You can see too, my inventory management is out the window at the moment because I'm struggling here. I'm sort of so excited by what's going on, and I'm just trying to figure out how to make sure that I don't kill myself in the process. Even down to mining that particular block, I think that could have been particularly dangerous. So I think I get a little bit lucky that they don't burst in on me there. So anyway, continuing on from that though, so yeah, I finally get myself sorted for how I'm going to get them in and whatnot. Again, I think I'm probably onto my third cycle now of angering the piglins and whatnot. So you see there's 3 of them at least I got there, so that's good. And this is where I start going for the chest section. So just over here there's a chest, which is great, and there's plenty of obsidian in there, and crying obsidian by the looks. And yeah, string's not an issue. Obviously I've got all those beds, so don't worry about the string. I think the main thing here is ender pearls, fire potions, and obsidian for blind travel. I'm trying to aim at doing blind travels a lot of the time, mainly because I think that that's probably going to be the thing that sort of helps me as a beginner runner get through a lot of this pretty quickly. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, again, following the strat, I've got my gold. I'm running up the stairs to go up the top of the ramparts and look for the triple chest section. Again, it's a kind of funny thing, I think, because I haven't done this before, but it's sort of, I'm of the mindset that I've watched a couple of videos, so I have a vague recollection of where I'm going and stuff, and I'd say that generally speaking, as long as you've got gold on your hotbar, it's probably not a big deal. So just getting into these and just trying to get up and where you're going and be ready for it is sort of the big thing, I think. So yeah, and again, gold on the hotbar, main thing. Most you're ever going to suffer is 1 hit maybe, so as long as you've got a little bit of armor, you're all set to go, I think. The other problem with this was that they dropped the thing very quickly, but again, this is again where my inventory management is probably just not really good enough. I need to sort of be quicker in what I'm doing and things like that. But yeah, again, you can start to see I'm starting to pick up enough of everything. About the only thing I want more of right now is ender pearls. I've got 15, which is reasonable. I think on a normal setup I would probably head to the end with a stack of 15 pearls, but for this particular run, again, trying to ensure success, I'm trying to make sure I've got closer to 2 stacks. But yeah, this would basically be the end of the Bastion then. Unfortunately, following this, I jump out and I get a little bit down the track and I run into some more hoglins, and suffice to say, I'm still not travelling very well with hoglins. Yeah, I've used the fire potion here, and I'm kind of thinking now that that's crazy because I don't know when I'm going to run into the fortress. But anyway, you do what you do, I suppose. You don't want the fortress to take too long. So yeah, but unfortunately, run 15 ends with these hoglins as I try to pillar up and get safe, and they just keep reaching me. So we'll move on to attempt number 16. Okay, in a number 16, attempt number 16, we come in as I found an underwater portal. There's not enough obsidian or lava, so I gather what I can out of it, 2 obsidian in particular, and I move on. Again, I'm still wasting far too much time moving around here, and so yeah, eventually a couple of days after recording this, I went watching some no structure strats videos and have decided that I'm no longer going to be doing this. I'm not going to be boating around for hours and things like that. Basically, if I can't get into a nether in 5 minutes, I'm going to be quitting runs because it's just taking forever. So anyway, with this particular run though, with 16, I do find a second portal in a few moments, and unfortunately, once again, this particular portal isn't the most handy. But as you'll see, my main concern with this run is that I get attacked by a trident-wielding underwater zombie. I can't think of the word. Drowned drowned. I'm struggling with words today, but anyway. So I thought it was kind of cool finding 2 underwater portals, but again, neither of them were complete. I couldn't finish them off with the obsidian I had, unfortunately, and yeah, the particular setup of having the drown attack me was the big killer here as well. So yeah, quite unfortunate really. I guess I didn't get to the chest in this one either. There's probably still a buried chest somewhere, so maybe I would have had enough obsidian in the end. But anyway, again, the biggest problem was this drown that killed me in this run. So like I said, I'm going to be not wasting as much time anymore with these runs, because it's interesting to try the strats out, but it's just really not getting me very far. So yeah, mining netherrack just to find some obsidian is basically just wasting my time far too much. So yeah. Anyway, I'll let this one play out just a few seconds longer with the drowned, and then we'll get into checking out run 17 to finish. So, the final run for today's episode is run 17, and there's not much left on it, unfortunately. I wanted to show you my improvement on building a portal. I got a little bit better here, and I have finally figured out what my major issue is. And my major issue is that I keep forgetting to put blocks behind the left side of the portal. So I'm going to be doing that from now on to make sure that I can automatically fill the bottom of the portal, sorry, the left side of the portal with water, because it'll hit the blocks and bounce out over the portal. So yeah, it's a bit to work on there, but we'll get there. Anyway, for run 17, I found I think it was 2 villages on the way, so I got really stocked well with all supplies and everything. I was amped to go. It took me a while to find lava. That was the biggest problem, so it was about 20 minutes. So again, I'm not going to do that anymore after this. It's just too much wasted time. And then yeah, following that, I got into the Nether, which was great. But to be honest, a few minutes into the Nether and I was dying to lava, so it was crummy. So what I'm going to do is use a practice map from now on to try and get a bit better with some of these techniques, and like I said, save a lot more time by resetting much quicker on dud runs. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed watching. Please like, subscribe, hit a like or whatever to keep me going, and I'll catch you next time.